Hey there everyone, and welcome back to Battlefield Breakdown, a video series where I, Skilly Blitz, give a quick review of a weapon, including its strengths and weaknesses, and then attempt to give some good situations where the item might be useful, and some situations where it might be a hindrance instead. I'll be covering not only primary and secondary weapons, but also gadget roundups and map-specific tips. On this episode of Battlefield Breakdown, we'll be taking a look at the Steyr AUG A3. A small bit of backstory to this weapon. The AUG A3 is a third iteration of the rugged and oft-praised weapons platform that was first introduced in 1977 by the Steyr firearms manufacturer based out of Austria. The weapon and its A1 and A2 variants were widely adopted by many countries around the world for their armed forces, most notably including Ireland, Australia, New Zealand, and it even sees limited use within the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement and many other countries around the world. Besides the rifle's hardiness and excellent handling, it is also highly modular, with top, side, and underbarrel rails to fit a wide array of attachments and underbarrel launchers. The weapon is mainly chambered with the NATO 5.56 by 45mm cartridge, but also comes in 9mm variants. The AUG A3 in Battlefield 3 was one of the two assault weapons introduced in the Close Quarters expansion pack, along with the SCAR-L. It has an average reload time with 2.5 seconds with a bullet remaining in the chamber, and goes up to only a full 3 seconds if completely dry. The AUG also shares the same damage models as most of the other assault rifles, doing 25 damage at close range and trailing off to 18.4 damage at 50 meters and beyond. To give the weapon a quick description before heading into more details, the AUG very much feels like a cross between the M16A3 and the L85. Just like its real-life counterpart, the AUG in Battlefield 3 is amazingly versatile. It's capable of very accurate, sustained long-range fire, while also being able to hold its own while not aiming down the sights, due to the hipfire bonus from its bullpup design. With a quick glance at the Simthic stat sheets to compare it to the M16A3, it's easy to tell exactly what it's good at and not so good at, since the majority of its stats line up almost perfectly with the M16. The main differences between the two are the hipfire bullet spread patterns and the recoil. As expected, the AUG has very good spread when hip-firing, equal to the F2000, which is widely known for being a great hip-fire weapon. The one stat that prevents the AUG from being a good run-and-gun weapon, though, is its fire rate. The AUG fires at a slightly below average 700 rounds per minute, putting it just barely in the lower half of the assault class in that regard. Spray and prey weapons are effective in their role because of their ability to put a lot of lead into an area very quickly, and the AUG just can't stand up to the higher fire rate weapons in close range like the F2000 or the FAMAS. You'll be able to put up a fight, but don't expect to win often versus anything with a faster fire rate in those close quarter situations. As far as recoil is concerned, the AUG could be called odd. The rifle has a very low vertical recoil of only 0.2, tying with the L85 and SCAR-L, both known for being great long-range shooters. However, it also has a reasonably high side-to-side kick of 0.3 left and 0.4 right, and high side-to-side recoil tends to lend itself poorly to longer-range engagements. What does this mean for the AUG then? Basically, it means you need to choose your attachments wisely, try to pick your fights, and keep your enemy at arm's length. The weapon excels at the mid-range distance of about 25 to 40 meters, where the side recoil doesn't throw your aim off too much, and the low vertical recoil lets you keep your sights on target while you unload into them. The AUG also has the advantage of having the fastest muzzle velocity of literally any weapon in the game, sniper rifles included, at 670 meters per second. This makes it extremely easy to hit longer range moving targets, since you don't have to lead your shots quite as much when shooting for that long range kill. The attachments for this gun are easy to choose because of its unique characteristics. I absolutely recommend the foregrip to attempt to tame some of that side-to-side recoil, and I would also recommend the heavy barrel to extend the effective damage range. The flash suppressor just isn't needed, as the gun already has very low vertical recoil. The suppressor can be useful if you're trying to play it stealthy, but it wouldn't be an attachment I'd recommend for average play, as you'd just be cutting down on the muzzle velocity of the gun, one of its strongest positives. For close-range maps, you technically could put on a laser sight to assist in hip firing, but to be honest, the AUG is good enough at hip firing even with a heavy barrel equipped, that you'd just be better off saving the laser for a weapon that suits it more, like the F2000. As for optics, just choose whatever you're comfortable with. I personally use the Cobra sight for all-around gameplay, or the holographic sight for slightly longer range shooting. but I don't think using the PKA or the ACOG would be a bad idea if you're looking for a bit more range. In summary, the AUG is a great, versatile weapon that will serve you well in almost any situation. This may be a bit anecdotal, but I always find the AUG extremely easy to control, and the recoil to me seems much less than what the stat sheet actually says. The rifle strikes a great balance between controllability and rate of fire, and it just seems like I can't miss when I use this thing. It's very quickly climbing my battle log stats page, and I strongly recommend you give it a try if you're looking for that new go-to rifle. That concludes another episode of Battlefield Breakdown, so thanks very much for watching, everyone. If you have any comments, opinions, or just want to leave some criticism or praise, drop a comment in the box below, and stay tuned for much more game coverage from Blitz Gaming. See you later, guys.